Baby, I'm back. I'm back. All right. We're leaving a little earlier than we thought. Child, wait, I done lost y'all. Hold on. What? Wait a minute. Where is y'all at? What happened? I can't see y'all. Oh, y'all probably can see me the whole time. I put my phone fell on my mouse and put me to a different screen. But yeah, we're leaving a little earlier than I thought. Y'all, I hadn't really eaten anything all day. I know bad. Didn't take my fruit out with me today, so I had water. And so I ate some oodles and noodles. Don't judge me. Yes, I ate them in college and still like the chicken flavored. But anyway, and now we're leaving earlier than I thought. I'm still going to eat my food when we get to the place though. But anyway, so there's a couple more things that I wanted to talk to y'all about. And I definitely wanted to make sure I got this video out. Today, I am going to make sure, because I missed Orange County again last week, but I cannot miss any more weeks because I have so much to say. So I am going to get that done some way, somehow. Before we get into that, have y'all checked out The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Baby, I binged almost all of it yesterday when I probably should have been watching Orange County. But there's 8 episodes dropped on Hulu. I finished all, and I'm in the middle of 8. Um, if y'all watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, we would laugh about the way Whitney said healing. Like, I'm on my healing journey. That's a thing. Because anytime they all sound like that, right? That show was a mess. So for those of y'all that don't know, basically they have what's called mom talk, right? These Mormon wives, they get young, married when they're young. Some of them got pregnant young. So of course the next step is marriage. They believe, that in their religion. So they formed this group. It started out with 3 of them, I think 3 or 4, the main one, Taylor, and then some other ones. And then gradually they brought in some other girls that they met, and they would do these TikToks or whatever, mom talking it. Their followings got so big and they started supporting their families off of the TikTok money. I need a little piece of that. Anyway, so the main girl, Taylor, confessed, and she did Nick Vial, whatever his name, podcast, not whatever his name is, that's rude, but Nick Vial, right? His podcast. And I saw a lot of clips. And so basically, she ended up, like, they have this whole group thing going, and then she ended up, Taylor, blowing it up. Mind you, they're married, have kids. They do the mom talk, their husbands are friends, because they were soft swingers. Not all of them, it seems, but she definitely was. And her and her husband did with one other couple. Soft swinging is you do everything but having sex with the other person, right? So be her and her husband and another couple. They did everything. And it started out by the men saying, oh, our wives should kiss. They start kissing, the husbands feeling up on each other's wives. And then it went from there. So basically, I think a lot of sucking and tugging and pulling. They just didn't sleep with the other person. Then they found another couple, and they could just kind of tell that this couple was definitely down for it. So they would all get together and have these soft swinging parties, these Mormon wives, right? And they still kept their, and the wives are her friends, which are part of this mom talk group. So one of the husbands end up falling in love with, okay, so before that, she said there was one night when they were all drunk, they had been drinking, and she and her husband were there. Another couple was there. She was completely naked with the other husband about to have sex. The other girl, her friend, was completely naked with her husband about to have sex. And right before they had sex, her husband stopped and was like, okay, this has gone too far. We said we weren't going to do this. We said we weren't going to cross that basically that line. And once we cross that line, there's no coming back. So in all their nakedness, they agreed, you know what, you're right. Because this couple used to, before they got to that point, they would touch on each other, whatever. Then they would lay in the same bed having sex. So like Taylor and her husband would be in bed with this other couple and her husband having sex. So like they're having sex next to each other. So then they almost sleep. They almost do a full on swinging, but the husband is like, nope, if we cross this line, we won't be able to come back. Well, she ends up crossing the line with one of the husbands in their group. They were all together one night. She got drunk. She went back to the house. She said, and she doesn't blame him for taking advantage. Like, she doesn't think he took advantage of her because she wanted it too, but she just doesn't remember anything. Her husband picked her up the next morning because, again, she was with the couple, stayed at their house. Her husband picked her up the next morning, and she lied and said nothing happened. And then later on that day, she told him the truth that something did happen. And that's when they decided, you know what, we are going to get a divorce. So that's how that happened. And when she went live on, like, all these Reddit threads had started kind of putting stuff together. So she goes on and does a live and tells it all. She was a soft swinger, she's getting a divorce. And it just blew up, the mom talk. And people were denying, there were people that were denying being a part of it, people that were part of the original mom talk that were no longer. So basically, a husband fell in love with her and she caught feelings for a different husband. Crazy. And they say it's her best friend's husband that had fell in love with her child. The show is good to me. So y'all check it out. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. All right, let's get into some other things. So y'all know we talked about the cast of Dancing with the Stars, and I had my opinions on Anna Delvey being a part of the cast and being celebrated committing these crimes. And I do wonder if she looked like me or even Whoopi Goldberg. Would she have been able to perform? Let's look. Speaking of Whoopi Goldberg, y'all know I brought her up for a reason. Let's see what Whoopi had to say about it.
Living in New York with roommates, would you live with someone who stole so much money from other people? Like, who are these people?
You know, I don't understand why she gets to stay. I don't understand
because she's pretty. That's why.
Well, that's a little bit of a piss off. But that's I have to tell you. And
I have to interrupt. Joy saying because she's pretty and has Joy's skin color. Because if she was pretty and had Whoopi's skin color, I don't think it would be the same. Okay.
You know, I like pretty people too. But I gotta say, I'm listening to people bitch about what's going on at the border. Yes. And I listen to people bitch about all these people who shouldn't be here. Well, what the hell, man? If you're gonna... How does this work?
Not fair. And to be clear, I am going to watch it, but...
You are?
Oh, I love Dance with the Stars.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like a train wreck you're watching, I guess.
In a way, and it's, you know, we got to support the network. I get all of that. But this is a in the face of a lot of people who've been trying to make their way back to this country.
They've had other felons on. Teresa Giudice, she was on. Lil Kim and Tommy Chung. All felons, apparently.
Understood.
All right. We're going to stop that, and then I'm going to stop my screen share. So y'all seen what Whoopi had to say, right? Now, let me tell you what Miss Anna had to say. Okay. This is according to page 6. Anna Delvey demands apology from The View, claims Whoopi Goldberg got key facts wrong about her case. Anna Delvey has demanded an apology from ABC's The View, claiming co-host Whoopi Goldberg got a key fact about her case wrong. On Thursday, the hosts with an S of the long-running talk show laid into Delvey and their own network for casting the convicted con artist who posed as an heiress to built businesses and individuals out of more than $250,000 on reality contest Dancing with the Stars. Amid the lambasting, Goldberg said, "She still owes people money. I don't understand why she gets to stay." But Delvey addressed the host in a statement to page 6 Friday, writing, "While you are entitled to your own opinions, you should at least get your facts straight. I served my time and paid everyone back in full 3+ years ago. Looking forward to your on-air correction. Stay nasty, ladies, but don't forget to vote September 17th. That's the date when fans can vote for her first performance on the Ballroom Competition show." Yeah, you paid them back because you got a Netflix deal about you as well. But you know what? The people are paid back. So that's all. Not that that's all that matters, but the fact that they got their money back is a good thing. So yeah, Whoopi has some strong feelings. They all had some strong feelings, but she said Whoopi got that key fact wrong about her case. Y'all voting for Anna? Are y'all watching? All right, moving on. Let's talk about Mr. Andy Cohen. Now, this is according to Radar Online. Andy Cohen's innermost secrets to be exposed. private recordings and documents to be unmasked in Leah McSweeney drug lawsuit. Andy Cohen may be shaking in his boots with the latest development in Leah McSweeney's lawsuit against him and Bravo. RadarOnline.com has learned the judge presiding over the former Real Housewives of New York City star's case against her former boss and network has allowed private documents and recordings to be seen by McSweeney's attorney. The move will ensure the Married to the Mob founders' legal team can listen to private recordings, read documents tied to the case, and give them the ability to set up under oath interviews. McSweeney's lawsuit claimed Cohen and Bravo pressured her to break her sobriety during her time on the Manhattan franchise to make for a more interesting show. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, the Watch What Happens Live host and his attorneys demanded the judge pause the lawsuit until their motion to dismiss was heard, claiming that any discovery sought will be broad and require extensive responses. So basically, any discovery, we're going to need time to respond. The motion also stated, while plaintiff attempts to overwhelm with a 754-paragraph complaint, that's a lot, even a cursory review of her allegations reveals that many concern matters entirely irrelevant to her claims, and most are devoid of any factual or legal support, speculative, misleading, and or demonstrably false. So that's sort of like a win, right, for Leah's team, that they are going to allow to bring private recordings and documents before the judge, like that's allowed to be seen, brought in as evidence. So if they pushed for that and it's being allowed, my next question is, do they have this stuff then? Because or are they going to get other people's, and would that even be allowed? Other housewives that have, like, for instance, are they going to try to use Brandy's video in this lawsuit? Like, you know what I mean? Like the video of him, of Andy and Kate calling Brandy. We talked about that, and saying, oh, do you want to watch us have sex? All that stuff or whatever. Or does she have her own? Shadow. I don't know. Moving on. The last thing I want to talk to y'all about in this video. Now, y'all know I've been watching Orange County, been loving it. And Katie been getting on my nerves a little bit because I feel like she came in with an agenda and didn't have an actual beef with Heather. If she had a beef with Heather based on something that they had before the show, cool. But I feel like she came in with like some intention. Well, it seems like the story I'm about to read you, there was this just came out, but there's another story before that. I'm talking about her divorce from her ex-husband and some different things regarding Katie. And then the story before that about her allegedly being a part of two people that stole the idea for the golf alcohol, or like golf ball things that she does that has something to do with alcohol. We reported on the story like a month or two ago. I said, it's interesting all these stories are coming out about Katie Child after people watched her talk about Heather on the show. Now all these stories are coming out. Let's get into it. This is according to In Touch. RHOC's Katie Ginella accused of calling police to report a fake crime causing a wrongful arrest. Real Housewives of Orange County star Katie Ginella was accused of calling police with fake allegations that led to a man being arrested for false imprisonment. In Touch can exclusively report. According to court documents obtained by In Touch, a man named Sidney Silva filed a lawsuit against Katie, 40, in March 2016. In the lawsuit, Sidney said he had an incident with Katie on the roadway on April 12, 2015. He claimed she followed him all the way to his house and parked her vehicle behind his work van outside his residence. Katie exited her vehicle and confronted Sidney aggressively, the suit said. The man said he pulled out his cell phone to tape Katie in an effort to protect himself, which led to her calling 911 falsely to report a crime. When police arrived minutes later, he said Katie told the operator that he was preventing her from leaving the scene. Sidney said he was in no way preventing or stopping Katie from getting inside her car and leaving. When police arrived minutes later, Katie again communicated to them that Sidney had blocked her path and prevented her from getting inside her vehicle and leaving. As a result of Katie's allegations, the police initially arrested Sydney for false imprisonment, disorderly conduct, and reckless driving. Upon further investigation, the police determined that Katie was the primary aggressor and that her allegations against Sydney were false. Sydney said as a result of the investigation initiated by Katie's call and her subsequent false allegations, he was thrown to the ground, injured, and arrested. He said that he was forced to hire lawyers to fight the charges that ended up being dismissed. He also said he spent $12,625 on legal fees to defend himself and that Katie should be held liable for the fees. He also accused Katie of slander. He demanded over $100,000 in damages. According to the court docket, Katie never responded to the case, and a default judgment of $112,945 was entered in 2018. So that means he got the judgment for $112,945. Sydney filed a separate lawsuit against the police officer involved in his arrest. In that lawsuit, it revealed the details that allegedly led to Katie following Sydney home. It noted that Sydney was driving home when he noticed Katie texting while driving with several children in her car. He said a driver who was texting killed his brother 8 years ago. He claimed he shook his head in disapproval as he passed Katie, which led to her following him. The suit said that Katie parked behind Silva, got out of her car, leaving the children inside, and screamed at him. Confused by the woman's behavior, after all, she was the one who had endangered the public and the children in her car by texting while driving. Silva began recording the event on his cell phone. In 2018, Sydney and the officer agreed to dismiss the case. So he got the judgment against Katie for the $112,945, but the lawsuit that he had against the police officer, they agreed to dismiss that. As In Touch first reported, Katie was involved in a bitter divorce with her ex-husband, Andrew Sudseth, in 2016. So what he's saying is she was texting and driving. She had kids in the car. A person who was texting unalived his brother 8 years ago. And so he said when he rode by, he shook his head, and Katie followed him all the way home, pulled up behind him, got out of the car. Her kids were still in her car, started going off, and he recorded her with his cell phone. Then she called the police and said that he was aggressive with her. The police got there, threw him to the ground, arrested him, all of that. He had to spend $12,000 on a lawyer only to prove that it was her. Now, here's my question. Do people not get in trouble for calling 911 falsely? Because if they ruled that she was, in fact, I mean, they gave him a judgment. She never responded. They didn't go after her for lying on that 911 call. Like, people don't get in trouble for that? Or was it just not that big of a deal to them? You tying up 911's lines and you get off, and not saying that it's a light amount, but by having to pay the judgment, to this gentleman, but you called 911 and lied on a recorded line. I don't know. Y'all let me know. What do y'all think? Katie girl, I got a feeling somebody's watching you from that other team, and so you gonna go after Miss Heather. I'm about to dig up everything I can, because it's just interesting how it's like story after story after story coming out. Okay, or maybe it's just because she's on reality TV. Who knows? Child, do Katie got a little anger problem? Well, I don't know. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about Miss Katie, about Andy Cohen and this Leah McSweeney lawsuit. Does Leah have videos and documents to back up her claims about Andy? And what do y'all think about Whoopi Goldberg and the cast and the other hosts, and what they had to say about Anna Delvey being a part of Dancing with the Stars? All right, y'all, I love y'all so much. Y'all pray my strength. I'm going to stay awake. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.